It's been 50 years since man stepped on the moon. During this period, due to economic and political issues and investment on other projects, NASA did not have any plans to travel to the moon. But recently it has started a project called Artemis that is going to be launched in 3 stages, land man on the moon in 3 years, and establish a space station on the moon. And after that, get prepared for the human voyage to Mars. In Artemis 1, human is not present, but in Artemis 2, there's going to be human, but they only orbit around the moon. And in Artemis 3, man steps on the moon. In this video, we want to see how Artemis 1 takes the passenger capsule to the moon and returns to the Earth. We start from the astronauts' capsule called Orion, which can accommodate up to 4 astronauts and is the most important part of the spacecraft. But in Artemis 1, several human replicas have been replaced and equipped with many sensors to check the effect of different things on the human body, such as air pressure and solar radiation during the trip. At the bottom of Orion, the service module is installed, which is equipped with important systems for the crew, such as engines and fuel reserves. At the tip of the spacecraft, this tool can separate the astronaut capsule with its engines from the spacecraft in case of a launch problem, or if, for example, the fuel tanks explode, and save them. This part is a compartment for cargo, and below it is a temporary propulsion device that is used in space to correct the path of the astronaut's capsule. The central part of the spacecraft contains 340,000 units of liquid hydrogen and oxygen as fuel, and 2 boosters are attached to the rocket. That each of these boosters, by consuming 5.5 tons of fuel per second, produces lift force equivalent to 14 Boeing 747 drift force. That all of these together make the spacecraft reach 40,000 kilometers per hour, which is essential to escape Earth's gravity. All in all, this is the most powerful rocket in the world. 4 RS-25 engines and 2 boosters propel the rocket upwards. 2 minutes later, the boosters are separated from the rocket. And 8 minutes later, after the launch, the main fuel tank is depleted and released. Temporary propulsion puts the Orion astronaut capsule in orbit around the Earth for a while. Meanwhile, they check the systems to make sure everything is ready for the trip to the moon. After accelerating from orbiting the Earth, they increase the power of the temporary propulsion force to get out of the Earth's gravitational pull and speed up towards the moon. When the temporary propulsion fuel runs out, it will separate from the spacecraft, and Orion will reach the moon about 1 to 2 weeks later. Orion orbits around the moon 2 times. Meanwhile, 10 CubeSats will be placed in the orbit of the moon to get more new site information. After completing an orbit around the moon, Orion moves toward the Earth, and the capsule is separated from its engine, and the heat shield rotates until it is ready to enter the Earth's atmosphere. It speeds up to 27,000 kilometers per hour, and the heat it tolerates is about half of the heat of the Sun's surface. And then, as it gets closer to the surface of the Earth, its parachutes open and lands on the Pacific Ocean. This is the beginning of extraterrestrial adventures with human presence.